think when you look at profile, when you look at skill set, talent, he can go to the, I sound like Redknapp here, he can go to the very top. He can go down as one of the best strikers the Premier League has seen, but he's not there yet.
There's been a lot of chat this week, hasn't there, about strikers, the informed strikers in the Premier League. We saw goals from Sesko, and yes, we saw goals from Gyokeres, as everyone keeps reminding me.
Joao Pedro as well.
Joao Pedro as well. So there's been a bit of debate about number 9. So we thought now was a good time to rank every Premier League club's number 9 on the whiteboard. Lias, you're going to lead this. Categories A to E, A being the best, E being the worst. And of course, we need one name, at least one name, in each category. We'll get Cecil and Carell's thoughts as you go on. Before we get started, though, Cecil, you were a bit of a baller back in the day, weren't you? A striker.
A little bit.
He said just a little bit.
We've actually got a picture of you.
Just a little bit.
In your Crawley Town days.
Look at him.
Look at him. Talk to me about
The same
that.
smile, different trim.
That was
Striker.
feels like a long time ago. Obviously, a striker. This was what I grew up playing. I never vaulted from any other position. Obviously, watched Thierry Henry. Got inspired by him and thought I could be the next Thierry. Didn't make it that far.
Comparing yourself to Henry.
Well, I've got a magnet. There we go.
No, I love Sky.
It's upside down.
Thank you. So what was that name?
Is that, well,
Where you putting yourself? Where you putting yourself?
no,
Is that what I actually did?
Mum, take a photo. Take a photo, please. Take a photo.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you, Mum.
Crazy.
I love that. No, you can keep it up there. You can keep it up there. Yeah, of course, keep it up there.
You might get moved
Wow.
to
Keep it
Egypt,
up there. But let's get onto the actual
That's so
Premier League.
So by the way,
number
you're a
9.
striker. You understand the position, right? You know what it takes to be a good striker. You know what it takes to not be a good striker, right? So let's be respectful here, but let's also be objective.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Okay.
Can we do that?
Respect.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
And honest.
And honest.
Okay.
We like
Let's do it,
honesty.
Lias. Let's
When he
get
said he knows what it
started.
takes to be a striker, he didn't say good striker.
That's okay as well, too. Huh? That's okay. There's some guys on
Okay,
here.
Lias, let's get started with Arsenal, obviously, alphabetical order. Viktor Gyokeres, probably the most talked about striker this season.
Yeah.
Scored 10 goals, 26 appearances, probably the most informed striker since Christmas as well.
No.
That's not true.
It's not
In all
Sesko's
competitions.
the most goals in the Premier League since
We're talking about
2026.
Gyokeres, so let's start with Gyokeres.
Okay.
Let's start with
Let's
Gyokeres.
start.
I knew.
It's like honesty. I like honesty. Go ahead.
Where are we putting him on this? Come on, bro.
Gerd Muller Trophy in Portugal. Let's not forget he won all the goals he scored. I know it's not the Premier League, but we've got to talk about him
In the
as a
Premier
striker.
League
Bro,
right
it's this
now.
season,
Premier
man.
League
I know,
right
right
Accept
now.
his fate.
I know
This
what he's
season.
This season.
I
Go
haven't
with your
been
heart.
impressed by Gyokeres. I'm not going to lie. I have not been impressed by Gyokeres. I know he came in for a lot of money. There was all the talk about how many goals he'd scored in Portugal, but I don't think his adaptation to the Premier League has been smooth whatsoever. I understand how many goals he's scored, but I think when you actually look into context, who the goals are coming against, the quality of the goals, then you look at his record against the sides higher up in the table, then you look at his real lack of even getting chances in most games, you look at the lack of hold-up play. I find that anytime he tries wrestling with defenders, he ends up on the ground a lot of the times. I don't think he has really adapted to the way Arsenal want to play or in the Premier League well. What I will give him is I actually think if you were playing for a lower team in the Premier League where maybe up against more high lines, playing more in transition, I think it would show his strengths more. But I don't think his game translates to the way elite teams want to play, and I think it's been shown at Arsenal this season.
I agree with when he arrived, he's not what I think many Arsenal fans expected for obviously the goal record before. But I will say, Arsenal, we brought in a top striker. We scored goals against the top teams last season. It's the teams that are the lesser teams that cause Arsenal problems. We struggled against last season.
You guys told him when he came, he doesn't have to score against big teams because we didn't do it.
No one told him that, but he's scoring, right for me, now important goals. This is where I need him to really step up. He hasn't been what I expected, I'll be honest. He hasn't came into Arsenal and adapted straight away, but I don't think we can disrespect him saying that he's not a quality, not a good striker. We can't do that.
Well, yes, it's your list. Where'd you put him?
For me, it's C or D. I'm not going to lie. I think...
We can't do D.
I think
your list.
Go with your heart. Go with your
Lias's
heart,
list.
Lias.
I'm going D, man. I don't think
wow.
Gyokeres stands out like that. In fact, I think the job he's doing, the goals he scored, I think a lot of strikers in the Premier League would probably do similar to what he's doing.
Okay.
I don't really rate Gyokeres that highly. Wow.
Let's move on to Ollie Watkins from Villa. 8 goals and 26 appearances. Where'd you put Ollie?
He's streaky, man. Watkins. He's obviously been such a good Premier League striker over the last 10 years now. He's been in the league for quite a long time.
He's-
Maybe not 10 years quite so much, but maybe the last 5 or 6 years.
He's had a great career.
Yeah, he's honestly
Villa's
done
record
bits.
Premier League goal scorer.
Yeah,
83 goals.
He's done unbelievably. He's even transitioned into being a player for England that's scored in big games for them. I think this season, and even last year as well too, but really this year, I think he's become even streakier. The goals have not come as consistently. He had a really hot patch at one point in the season, but I don't think this is the best version of Ollie Watkins anymore. I think there are a few guys that have maybe surpassed him, and maybe you can even look into next summer. Do Villa look to move on from him? Because I think even at
I
times
think
They've tried a few times.
They've gone
They brought in
so
so many strikers to compete with Ollie Watkins, but he has been quite consistent. I think it's just, I think, like you said, he's quite inconsistent.
Yeah.
But he's a good striker.
Yeah.
He has a lot to
His
game.
hold-up
It's
play,
ridiculous.
his channel running is unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I think the finishing now is just becoming a little unreliable for Villa.
Where do you stick him?
I would actually go C. I think a year ago I would go B or A, but I think at this current moment...
So you put him in C, above Gyokeres, but below Cecil.
Yeah, Sesko still leads the list.
Who's next? Evanilson.
Evanilson came into the league a year ago, or he joined last season, obviously. I think he had a decent debut campaign for Bournemouth. They obviously were flying last year, but I think Bournemouth's decline as of this season has also reflected in his performances as well, too. I think he tries a lot. I think Evanilson is a handful. He likes to get involved. I don't think his finishing is the greatest. I don't think he's the cleanest striker up front. For that reason, I'm probably putting him as well in D territory. When I look at the strikers in the Premier League, guys, I don't really see too many players I find to be the best strikers in the world. I think there's a few on this list that are going to rank extremely high, but I don't think if you're looking at the position on average in the Premier League, we're really looking at the best position in the Prem. I think we're lacking a bit of quality in that regard.
I agree with
Let's go. Speaking of that though, someone who deserves his flowers, Igor Thiago, 17 goals in 27 Premier League appearances. Shout out to Brentford as well, the season that they're having. Only Haaland has scored more Premier League goals this season. I hope you're going to say some positive things about him, because I've been so impressed with him this season.
100%. There's nothing negative I can say about him. Igor Thiago has really taken the league by storm. He joined, obviously, the season before, but was out through injury, and Mbemo and Wissa's amazing form almost made him the forgotten man. But this season, he has really taken the mantle off of them, and Brentford have not missed a beat, and a lot of that is down to him. I think, obviously, the goals are incredible, but I look at the way he plays. There was obviously that game against you guys where maybe that lack of pace really prevented him from scoring that goal he wanted. But his overall hold-up play, his link-up play, I find him to be a very technically good player.
That's why he's a bit of a nuisance. Striker. He has a lot to his game. I think I speak to a lot of Brentford fans. I said his heading ability is not the greatest, but apart from that, he can be strong, physical, hold the ball well, and he's got a good range of goals at that. How the amount of goals he scored this season. So I think he's got to go high.
You think of the amount of talented Brazilians as well, boy. This is an amazing stat. His 17 goals this season is a record for any Brazilian player in a single Premier League season ever.
Incredible.
Maybe it shows you, though, they haven't had the best Brazilians in the Premier League when it comes to
there is that.
attackers.
Okay. Sorry, Igor, if you're watching.
He's doing bits, but
Stick him up.
All the Brazilians watching, sorry.
the Brazilians, they go to Real Madrid and Barcelona, man. They're not coming to the Prem normally.
Got a
So I
season,
go B. Igor Thiago's been amazing.
There's a lot of
this
Brazilians in this list, actually.
got a season pro next.
I don't know if the best high is.
Danny
Season
Welbeck.
pro.
Yeah, Danny Welbeck, old reliable.
Still
man,
doing it at
seriously.
35
I think the
years
best thing you can say about Welbeck is just how he's evolved his game and managed to stay in the Premier League still at this point. Because there was a period with Danny Welbeck around when he was at Watford towards the end. I think Watford got relegated. Welbeck was kind of seen as an afterthought, but the way he's reinvented his game and elongated his career, he's a fantastic professional. He keeps himself in incredible shape. And what he's doing for Brighton at this current age, I think is remarkable.
Yeah. Carell, thoughts on Welbeck? Still going strong?
I love Welbeck. I think his only time he's ever spent outside the Premier League was on loan at Preston.
Yeah.
And
Sunderland.
he's been,
outside of the
But he's been consistent. And then this season, the way he started the season, I was so happy for him, seeing him score goals, because he's one of my favourite strikers. You know those players that you love. They're not up there, but they're
heroes for
cult heroes. My cult hero.
He scored big goals for Brighton. Where do you put him?
I put him C.
Do you know what, Sam and I have interviewed a lot of Brighton players as well, and a lot of what they say about what he brings off the pitch as well, the leadership, the team, helping the young players as well. Cannot underestimate that. Right, next up, Burnley.
Can I be honest with you guys? I find him underrated. I actually find Flemming underrated. I've watched him a bit this season at Burnley, and I'm not going to come out here and put him at A. I probably put him at D as well, too, but I don't think a lot of people watch this guy play, but if you do, I think his array of finishing is actually quite impressive. He's got 6 Premier League goals this season. Obviously got the equalizer against your boys this past weekend, but I honestly think Flemming is better than a lot of people would probably expect, so I'm going to put him in D.
Move on to Chelsea. Crow, let's come to you for this one. Obviously, it's Lias's ranking. We'll get to him, but as a Chelsea fan, give us your thoughts on Joao Pedro's season.
I think Joao Pedro is a great all-round player. He gets involved well, great touches of the ball. My only gripe with him is I just don't feel like he shoots enough. Like you see a goal that he scored against Napoli, for example. he's got a strike off both feet. You saw the goals he scored in the Club World Cup, but he just doesn't shoot enough for my liking. Maybe because he's not a natural number 9, he's kind of plugging a hole while the likes of Delap haven't been around. But I would say when you look at the current crop of Premier League strikers, he's still doing enough to be right in the mix as like a mid to high tier striker for me.
I really like Joao Pedro.
I love him.
I'll be honest. I think I saw him when he was at Watford and thought he's a player. I think I similarly link him to like Gabriel Jesus when you say he doesn't shoot as much. Jesus is like that, but the ability I think he has. Obviously, 11 goals this season in the league as well. I think it pains me to say it, but I like Joao Pedro for a long time. I think he's a good player.
I think he's been one of the star men under Liam Rosinha as
Yeah.
well. So where would you put him?
I agree with everything you guys say. I put him at B.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's important when a new manager comes in, who do you improve? I think Joao Pedro is his guy right now that he is.
And he's
on
shooting
that
more.
level.
I hear what you're saying, but he's definitely shooting more.
Should we go to Palace then? Strand Larsen, interesting one.
Strand
Obviously
Larsen.
moved from Wolves to Palace.
Yeah, it was fantastic last year for Wolves, and
was,
then
yeah.
the first half of the season couldn't find the back of the goal to save his life. But that move to Palace has really done him a world of good. He's started scoring again.
Scored more goals for Palace than he has at Wolves.
Yeah.
2 goals, 1 assist in 4 appearances.
He's a good player. If we're being real,
agree.
I thought the transfer fee was a bit excessive, but that's not in his control. What is in his control is performing well. And I actually think when you look at his archetype of striker, he's able to hold up the ball. He's able to bring others into play. He's a decent finisher as well, too. I'm thinking C, but it's really up to you guys. I think I could hear D based on his first half of the season, but I think when I look at his overall play as a striker, I think I could argue C.
I have to be D.
You guys were thinking D?
Not enough production yet.
But I think Strand Larsen is solid. I'm not going to lie. I think in a year's time we could have him higher.
Who have we got next?
Thierno Berry.
Great celebrations.
I like Barry. Honestly, hey, he's got a great Instagram page as well too. He's a character. I like Barry, and I think he's raw. Honestly, when I watch him play, I think he's got good feet. He's obviously quite big for his size as well too. But I don't find him to be, and it's natural. He's still young, but I think there's still a long way for him to learn the ropes. Obviously, struggled a lot in the earlier bits of the season, trying to get used to the league. I think that has improved. But I still think when I look at Everton, between himself and Beto, who I think he is better than, but between the two of them, I still think Everton are really missing a presence up front. And I think maybe he can become that, but I don't find him at that level
It's
yet.
a perfect assessment. I think he's just getting used. I think he's still finding his feet when it comes to being a striker, a dominant striker in the Premier League. I think that was the right assessment there. He's still a good player, though. A handful, definitely a handful.
Most aerial duels won in the Premier League of any player. So it's decent in the air, but your list, Lias, where are you sticking
I
him?
feel like I'm packing this tier here, but I still put him here. Maybe do we have time to move at the end?
You can.
Yeah. We'll leave him here for then now.
Next up, Raul Jimenez, Fulham.
Similar, all reliable, man. Raul Jimenez has been in the league for so long.
Yeah.
I used to love him at Wolves before.
Same.
Obviously, that unfortunate
I
head
think it's
injury
worth
happened.
mentioning that as well, because
Yeah.
he was an elite player linked with United, Spurs linked with huge clubs.
I think
prior
he
to
was
that
the
injury.
best aerial threat in the Premier
I
League.
agree,
at
and
one
I
point,
think
yeah.
like, just the fact that he's back on a football field playing is so good to see. So I'm glad you mentioned.
But even more so than that, he's just not playing. I think he's actually found a real return to form this season. Honestly, he's scoring goals again. He's obviously a handful. I like Raul Jimenez a lot.
I've worked with him obviously when we were in Mexico with CONCACAF, and obviously he's the top 3 leading goal scorers of Mexico forever. I think he's a quality player. I'm a big Raul Jimenez fan, so please be
Be nice.
be nice.
124 caps for Mexico, 44 goals.
Unbelievable.
8 goals this season, 3 assists.
Had a
I
great
think
career
Jimenez
as well.
is a C, man.
Yeah?
Honestly, I think I'm really happy to see him back.
People don't talk about
level,
Yeah, what's that?
This man, Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Not a chat about Calvert-Lewin this season.
What he's done, I mean, I think a lot of people looked at that move to Leeds this season and maybe
Questioned
sniffed. Are Leeds really trying to be serious in the Premier League this season? Calvert-Lewin, the last few years, had his injury problems, was basically the forgotten man at Everton. But I give him so much credit because, again, his return to form has been so huge in keeping Leeds in a position where at the moment they look like they can survive. His goals in that little period where they were fighting every single game, looking to stay up, have been massive. We know in terms of aerial threat, again, this is one of the most dangerous players in the Premier League. So again, I'm happy to him. Similar like Raul Jimenez. I think this season, based on his form, he's a C. As a player, I think he's more in D.
That's
What do you think in terms of the England debate? Obviously, Kane, fully fit, starts. But the second striker, whoever comes off the bench as the sort of next player, you've got Watkins, obviously Tony's not playing in the Premier League anymore. How do you rate Calvert-Lewin's chances of being on the squad?
Good question.
It's an outside shot because he's probably a completely different profile to all of them in terms of having that aerial threat, being more of a presence. Obviously, Watkins gives you that in behind.
Yeah.
But as a second striker, I like Tony still. And I know people look at it and say he's not in the Premier League, he's playing in Saudi, but he's still banging in goals over there. And sometimes you just need someone who's hot, scoring, confident to go to the World Cup and just be that backup to Harry Kane.
Okay, stick him up, yes.
I'm going to put him again at D. I know we're packing this tier
He
up,
was
but,
thinking about it so much. He was looking at CD.
For me, I'm more worried. We're going to have enough space for the rest of them, but we'll put him
A category is tough to get into.
I think.
I'm not putting Ekitike in A. As much as I love Ekitike, I think Ekitike's potential is through the roof. But I think only one man belongs in A, and I think it's a disservice to put anyone there along. Yeah, maybe Sesko sits in front of that, but this is not about that guy. This is about Ekitike. I think Ekitike. Yeah, he hasn't moved yet.
Unreal.
I think Ekitike is unbelievable. I think when you look at profile, when you look at skill set, talent. He can go to the. I sound like Redknapp here. He can go to the very top. I honestly think Ekitike can go to the very top. He can go down as one of the best strikers the Premier League has seen, but he's not there yet. He's not. His game is still a little raw. There are games where I think you are still missing a little bit of poise. I would like to see him maybe a bit more a threat in the box. I think his best play comes facing the goal, running at players, and he is terrifying when he does that. He has had moments this year where you can see a real star in the making. But I think the best is yet to come from Ekitike, which is why I'm going to put him at B.
Fair.
I think with the potential to one day get an A.
What happens to him when Isak comes back? Because I know the first time around when he came back from injury, that type of conversation ruined his form a little bit.
I think he's built for it. I think Hugo, I think he's built for that
he
challenge.
loves
I
the
think
challenge.
at first he felt disrespected at first, but I think the mental side to his game now, especially the run he's had and the goals he's been scoring, I think he'll rise to that. I see something in him that in a striker I think it's a bit lost at times. Is that arrogance, that swag, that ability, that belief in yourself. Yeah. He has that. So I think he rises.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Ekitike and how he's adapted to the league. 10 in 24 though, same as Calvert-Lewin, 10 in 24. So you could argue Calvert-Lewin's a bit done dirty.
Maybe,
We'll move on.
Potentially. This is no debate. And this is why, as much as I love Ekitike, I'm sorry. Until Ekitike
But he needs
shows...
his own tier, man.
Yeah, maybe, and that tier is A. Maybe we make an S tier for the future. But until Ekitike can show me he can score 50 goals in a year, I'm sorry, guys. There's no competition here. Haaland is redefining goal scoring in the Premier League. He's one of the best goal scorers I've ever seen, flat out. I expect him, if he stays in this league long enough, to absolutely shatter Alan Shearer's record, unfortunately. I put him A. I think he's unbelievable.
Fastest player ever to 100 Premier League goals.
The numbers speak for themselves. Like, you don't even have to talk about a player like that.
This is someone you
have to talk about.
Let's see. He's going to be real. Go on then.
Let's see how you're going to talk now.
I love this kid, you know. I love him.
Tell.
I love him. And you know what I like about... There's been so much noise about Sesko all season long. I think a lot of it is unjust. I think from the word go, he was dealt a rotten set of hands. And I think the reason for it is his predecessor, Rasmus Højlund, who was also a young striker, struggled so much. And a lot of Man United fans maybe had PTSD about that and were reluctant to see the club go for another young striker. And he's had his injury problems, he's had his form problems, but I think he's really starting to his best level at the moment. He has the most goals. I think HMRC, don't do me here, but I think since 2026, no one has scored more Premier League goals alongside. I think it's him and Igor Thiago have the most goals. He is on fire at the moment. You look at the finishing at the moment as well too. The amount of times he's saving Man United off the bench as well. I look at what he possesses as a striker, and I think again, you give him a bit more time to develop, similar to Ekitike, I think he can go and be one of the best strikers in this league.
Karel, do you agree with that?
Absolutely. I've had the pleasure of watching him live as well a few times this season, and it's just when you see the type of chances he gets, the way some of the finishes he's had this season. I know, like the debate earlier we had was like Gyokeres and Sesko, but you can watch Sesko and see him how he takes a chance, how he positions himself, and go right. This guy's someone who can score 20, 25 goals in this league once he matures. I don't see the same for Gyokeres, which is why I'm inclined, even though he's got less goals this season.
And less minutes, by the way. Less minutes. He probably has the best goals per minute ratio in the Premier League. And by the way, I'm sorry, that speed for the Everton goal, that's scary. Let's call that what it is. That is frightening. But I'm talking about the speed to go from his own half and outspeed Tarkowski. I know Tarkowski's not Mbappe here, but to get on the end of that chance is outrageous.
But what
from
did you
Sesko,
say?
man.
You say could be the best striker.
No, I said he can be one of the best strikers in this league. He can be.
Where would you put him now,
Where
Where would you put him?
I'm putting him at B, man.
Okay.
I'm putting him at B.
Oh.
It is your list.
It is your list.
It is your list. It is your list.
It is your list.
Next up.
Nicholas Woltemade. Woltemade has been, he had a very good start to the season. That is unquestionable. I think as of late, he's actually playing more as a midfielder under Eddie Howe. Anthony Gordon has almost been turned into a center forward under him. I think Woltemade has a lot of brilliant skills to him. I think he's very talented for his size, good touch, great footballing mind as well too. I think at the moment he's maybe struggling because of the way Newcastle are trying to play, but I think under a different manager potentially, and maybe in the World Cup for Germany, we're also going to see again a player that one day you can look at and be one of the best strikers in this league.
So where are we putting him?
For me, C or B. What are you guys thinking?
C.
C for Woltemade.
C?
I like him a lot as well too.
I like his profile, but
We put him at C.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Next up, another Brazilian.
Igor
There's a lot,
Jesus.
isn't there? Is a lot.
If this was a Europa League list, he would be an S tier, honestly. He's a Romario over there. In the Premier League, I don't think it's translated as well. I think he's missed some big chances. I think at times he's struggled to really get going, and Forest have really paid for that. They're missing Chris Wood from last season.
He lashes at the ball.
Yeah, I think he's a fighter up there. He's a real handful for defenders. He really throws himself about, but I think the quality at the moment is just missing, and I think it's hurting Forest a lot. I put him maybe even E, to be honest with you guys.
If that's what you
We got to have one.
I have one.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have said he was the one.
But yeah, I would put him at D.
Oh, he's been changed. Okay. Jesus.
Yeah. Europa League. He's scoring so many goals in Europe.
Sunderland next.
Brian Roby. You talking about handful. I'm sorry, you're talking about handful. This is maybe the biggest handful in the Premier League. Wow, you get back to goal against Brian Brogby. It's lights out. You know it. You know it. I know it.
I saw Gabriel Saliba.
Wait, was that Tossin that he did that to?
Yeah, Tossin and Chalobah held them up.
He's unreal when it comes to back to the goal play. And I think, to be fair, in front of goal as well too. He's been decent for Sunderland. So I put him at C.
Okay.
I put him at C tier.
Wow. Okay.
Solanke has missed so much time through injury. I like Solanke a lot.
Yeah.
I really think Solanke is a talented striker, but unfortunately, the lack of availability really kills him here because I think when he's fit and firing, he's probably B as well too.
Yeah.
But
He might have goal of the season for him. That
I put him at C because I know the quality Solanke possesses. I'm going to put him at C tier. I am. Yeah, I think Solanke's a good player. Yeah.
Sesko.
Yeah.
It's also what he does for the team as a Spurs fan as well. And anyone else plays there, the hold-up play and how he brings everyone else. He does a lot off the ball, Solanke, which I don't think realises.
Victor does as well.
Last two players. Don't forget we need one in each category. Last two players.
Tati Castellanos joined obviously in January from Lazio. Scored on his debut. Decent link-up play. Works really hard for West Ham. The fans have already kind of fell in love with him. I just wonder, does he have the quality up front to be a West Ham striker? Because that's been the question mark for a lot of players they signed over the last few years. I'm not entirely convinced, and for that reason, I think he might be my first entry into T. I know West Ham fans aren't going to like that, but I think I need to see a little more. I watched him at Lazio. I didn't think he was unbelievable, so let's see. He was quite good in Spain, though.
Amazingly, he scored 4 goals in one game against Real Madrid.
He was on MLS as well,
the first player to score 4 goals against Madrid since 1947. It's an
That's a
incredible
great stat.
Anyway, it's a mad stat, isn't it? Adam Armstrong, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Where are you putting it?
I'm going to put him at E as well, too. Adam Armstrong has had a few stints in the Premier League. None of them have lasted that long. I think he's got a decent record in the Championship, which unfortunately is probably where Wolves will end up.
Okay, so there is the confirmation. Anything you want to rearrange?
I think some need to.
What are we thinking?
I think Barry needs to go down.
Barry E. Yeah, I think I'm going too much off potential of Barry, so I can definitely hear that. We put Thierno Barry at...
That's the only move?
Got it.
At E.
You got another one?
I like Sesko.
Benjamin Sesko.
I like Sesko.
I wouldn't have him at B either.
Like that Grimsby Town
what's my
game
list?
and
So
stuff
about
like
I
that.
know.
That Grimsby Town game as well.
Okay.
Where was he playing?
If you're thinking about it too much, we can leave it as that.
But a man scored 10 goals and he's in D.
Let's leave it as that.
I'm gonna put
Calvert-Lewin.
We'll see in the break if there's any changes.
Yeah, we'll put Calvert-Lewin up to
Okay,
C.
there we have it. There is confirmation of Lias's ranking of every Premier League team's number 9.